Kurtwood Smith is here on the Rich Eisen Show. Our radio audience just rejoined us. We just saw a clip of that 90's show part 2 that premieres next week, June 27th, exclusively on Netflix, which you can see right here on the Roku portal. And Kurtwood Smith is here on the program. When did you first hear about that 70's show? How did that first wind up on your radar screen?
I was in New Orleans. I was shooting a pilot that I wouldn't have been a regular on.
Yeah.
And they sent this to me and said they want to see you on Monday. Well, I had to shoot a scene Sunday night.
Yes.
On the Mississippi. And so I passed. I said, I'm not going to go back. I'm going to work all night and then fly to L.A. and do an audition. That's just, that's crazy.
Right.
But then when I got back to town, they said, they haven't cast that yet. Do you want to go in? I said, sure. And then I found out that the casting director, Mark Hirschfeld, had really been pushing for me. Mm-hmm. So they waited till I got back. They didn't tell me that, which was good.
So they didn't tell you that at the time, but you eventually learned that.
They didn't tell me that at the time. It would have made me much too nervous.
Is it true one of the competition for the role was Chuck Norris? Is that true?
No.
That is not true.
That's not true. I wondered myself because I heard that rumor often enough, so I finally asked one of the creators of the show, and he was like, no. Said, I have no idea where that came from.
Is it one of the many Chuck Norris fake Chuck Norris stories that are out there on the internet and things
Apparently,
like that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And when did you realize that show was something special for you?
About the third episode, I think.
Why is that then?
The first couple of episodes, the pilot and then the first episode, you're so much concerned with what you're doing,
mm-hmm. Sure.
As an actor and trying to get your character together and, work out your relationships, that I hadn't really had a chance to think about the show and in terms of any kind of future.
Yes.
But I remember that's also the episode when I first called him a dumbass. And it got a huge reaction. I just remember thinking, this is a funny line. Don't mess it up. Don't put any color on it. Just say the words. And I did, and it brought down the house. And then I thought, these people really like the show, mm-hmm. the audiences that we were playing for.
Yes.
And so I just had a feeling it was going to go. I knew Fox wanted to be in the business with Carsey Werner, mm-hmm. so I figured they'd probably give us a chance if it was close, but I don't even think it was close. I think they just liked us from the very beginning.
And the cast was just fantastic.
Cast was great.
Of that show.
Yeah.
Chemistry from the get-go? Pretty much?
Oh, absolutely, I think, yeah.
From like first table read,
yeah.
you felt it?
Everybody, I think, got along really well. Ashton was nervous. I remember talking to him. He said, oh, man, I'm really nervous about this. And I said, well, what's the problem? And he said, he's pointed at me like, she's 14 years old, man. I'm 19. I got to make out with her. And now I said, it'll be all right, man. And now here they are.
Yeah, now here you are doing that 90's show.
Yeah.
Part 2 on Netflix.
Yeah, and I got to say, these kids are great. The kids that we're working with on this show. I'm so impressed with them. I was impressed with them last year, even more this year, because they picked up right where they left off,
right.
And they just work so hard at what they're doing, and yet have a great time.
Right.
But we don't have any screwing around, nothing like that. They're all there to work and have fun, and that's what you want.
When you were done with that 70's show, did you have any idea that you'd have an opportunity to keep doing your character? Right?
No. But when they started bringing shows back, I thought, well, I thought exactly what they did. I thought, right. Deborah Jo and I, grandparents, that would make sense. But I didn't hear anything, and I was stuck in a hotel in Canada for 14 days, during COVID.
Yeah.
And Greg Mettler called me and said, what would you think about this? And I said, yeah, it'd be great. And he said, okay, Tom Warner's going to call you. So that was the beginning of it, and,
Good to get a call from Tom Warner.
Nice, right?
That's not bad. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Kurtwood Smith here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, so I was mentioning you in the green room, and you said you saw us do this with Anthony Michael Hall last week.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, we got a great celebrity true or false for you too, sir.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go. Hit it with our top-notch production value. Go ahead, hit it.
Celebrity true or false?
You can't handle the truth.
All right, that's it. That's what we got. There you go.
That was fun.
No, yeah, it was, while it lasted, for sure. Celebrity true or false with you, Kurtwood Smith. First up, true or false, your actual first acting job was in a 1980 episode of Soap. You were a guy in laundromat. Is that true or false?
First TV job.
First TV job.
Yeah, I spent years acting on stage up in the San Francisco Bay Area.
So you did the legit up there in San Francisco.
Well,
And then how did you wind up on Soap? How did that happen?
I was down here just scrambling. I'd had an easy go of it as an actor up there because I'd been doing it for a while, and people knew me and knew my work. But you come down here, and it's if you weren't a Broadway star, nobody knows you. And
By the way, there's the visual proof right
Yeah.
there. There's you as guy in laundromat.
Yeah.
Boy, you nailed it, Kurtwood.
I had one. I just stood there like a big lump, and he said, "Okay, what's the problem, man? What are you?" He thought I wanted to fight him, and basically I just said, "You got on my shirt." That was my only line. Brought down the house. So
Did it really?
Yeah.
That was like your version of Dumbass back in 1980.
Yeah.
How about that? Brought down the house?
Well, yes, because I think they thought that there was going to be some action, and since it was in the laundromat. Anyway,
Okay.
that was the setup.
So that
But
worked.
it worked.
It
so,
worked out.
Yeah.
You still getting like residual checks from Soap? Did those
I
ever?
used to. I haven't checked lately, but yeah,
Okay.
8 cents and stuff like that.
Hey, man, I hear you. Next up, true or false, you landed the role of choreographer in Saturday Night Fever sequel Staying Alive after reading with Sylvester Stallone. Is that true?
I met with Sly. I don't remember. I don't think we actually read.
Okay.
He, the casting director. I was doing another show.
Okay.
I was doing a series at that time.
Yes.
And I was in the Paramount cafeteria, and this casting director came up and said, "Would you be interested in, Staying Alive, choreographer?" And I said, "Sure." So she said, "Come on." So she just took me over to Stallone's office, and we talked, and that was that.
So hold on a second. So you're working on another show. Casting director comes up to you, mentions there's a sequel to Saturday Night Fever. Would you want to be the choreographer?
Right.
You're like, sure. And then took you directly to Sylvester Stallone?
Yep. He had an office there at Paramount.
Was he expecting you or?
No, I don't think so.
So
But,
okay.
but he was fine with it, And then I
was-
did 2 other projects with him.
What was the conversation about?
Kurtwood here, would be interested in playing the part, but he's not a dancer. He doesn't really know anything about dance. And Stallone said, oh, God, I've forgotten his name now.
Sly?
No, not Sly.
Right.
Anyway, he said, basically, he said, no problem,
Okay.
And it wasn't.
Never know. Okay. Very good. It worked out.
Except that he cut all my lines,
What?
Yeah, if you watch the movie, I'm in the credits, the opening credits,
Yeah.
walking around smoking a cigarette, in a jumpsuit, and watching Travolta and others,
Yeah.
and then you can see Travolta and I having a little argument, and I throw them out, but my lines are all gone.
Oh, my God. Oh, it all worked out.
Yeah.
Certainly because you were in Robocop. Let's get to that. True or
there we
false,
go.
Kurtwood Smith, you were paid an extra $400 on Robocop for stunt work, quote unquote, because you were actually set on fire during the riot scene.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. Being set on fire is a slight bit of an exaggeration, but my coat was smoking. They came and pulled my jacket off and all that, and I wasn't the only one. We were all. It's that scene when we're all, and Deep Ellum in Dallas, and we're just blowing up the town and just acting like complete goofballs. And we blow up this TV store, and as we're walking away from it, the fireball comes out. And I don't think you could see it anymore, but on some takes you could see the fireball comes out and it just hits the back of Paul McCrane. And I was next to him. So, yeah, I think we're smoking. And then later they came on and said, Kurtwood, listen, we're sorry about that. It was a little bigger than we thought, so we decided to give you a stunt pay. And I thought, great, how much is that? He said, $400. I said, $400? You set me on fire and you give me $400? But yeah, so true.
Okay. Well, that I guess you don't think you were even, is basically what you
Right.
after
I thought
that.
at least $1,000. Come on, you know.
I guess I'll buy that for $400. That'd be the line for that. Okay, this is another good one because you played a real SOB in that movie, man.
Lots of fun.
Is that the nastiest character you've ever played?
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. He was a nasty dude.
Clarence Boddicker, a total psychopath.
Yeah.
You scared the crap out of me, man. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. And so in this movie, in Robocop, the actress who played Dick Jones's secretary, who you harassed, Joan Perkle, is currently your wife and has been since 1988.
That's right. Excellent.
So you
And she says hello about it.
So you met your wife on the set of
No,
Robocop?
no.
Okay, you knew her already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were already together. And
Oh.
then, yeah.
So you're already together when you're harassing her in this scene here.
Yeah. That made it much easier to harass her, you know. And more fun. You know?
You get away with it.
Yes, exactly.
Just work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were. She came down to Dallas when we were shooting, and the casting director knew that she was an actress and asked if she would be interested in just doing a quick reading for that, and she did, and she ended up doing the part.
And then you harassed her, and then a year later, you
Yeah.
actually got hitched.
Yeah,
Got married.
Yeah. In the middle of shooting Dead Poets Society.
Well, let's get to that here. True or false, Kurtwood Smith? Dead Poets Society was not the first time that you acted with Robin Williams, because you did maybe that acting on stage in Marin County together in the
That's right.
70s?
Yeah,
That's true.
Yes, we did 3 plays together one summer.
You and Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was fresh out of College of Marin, and I was there that summer as a guest artist. So there was a summer festival. We did 3 shows. We were both in them, and after that, Robin went to Juilliard. But you know, he was. You knew he was going places.
You did.
Oh yeah, he was. He had that mind. You know, I mean, he was. Did you ever have an opportunity to meet Robin?
No, man, I wish.
Well, he's really a very sweet, wonderful guy. He was much more like the teacher in that film than he is like Mork, you know. It was a pleasure knowing him, you know. If it was you and a couple of people, you know, he was very sweet, and, you know, down to earth. But,
Right.
you know, you bring in like 3, 4, 5 people, and all of a sudden, bang, he's on.
Was he sticking to the script when you were on stage together, or did he just sometimes?
He was then. He was.
I love how
then.
you're smiling, because I
Right.
could only imagine just doing live theater with him.
Yeah. Well, here's what would happen is that there was one of the plays that we were doing. It was a 3-person play. It was me and this woman who played my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and Robin, who was her boyfriend, and I thought he was a complete wacko.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a scene with Robin. It was just him and I, and I'd be sitting and he was behind me, and the audience would laugh, and I'd turn around, and he'd just be. He never would tell me what he was doing. But every night he was doing something behind me.
So, like, not like a rabbit ears type thing, but he would do something that would make the audience laugh.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
had no idea what it was.
Right, that's right. But it, you know, if it was something that was bad for the play, the director wouldn't have let him get away with it. But
Well,
the director thought it was funny that I didn't know, so he wouldn't tell me either.
So, again, with Dead Poets Society, I just remember, even though I think he'd already done World According to Garp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he'd already done that and showed that he had some serious acting chops because, you know, he was introduced as, you know, Mork from Ork, you know, on Happy Days and obviously
Right.
Mork and Mindy, brilliant in it.
Yeah.
But, you know, Dead Poets Society was truly one of the moments where he could 100% carry a film and just be mind-blowingly brilliant as a straight dramatic actor in that regard.
Yeah,
but
he
you
was-
already knew that pretty much is what you're saying on the set.
Yeah. No, yeah, I had no doubt that Robin was going to be great. When they first sent the script to me and told me Robin was going to do it, I was like right there. I said, "Oh yeah, definitely." And then they changed the director, and they rewrote some of the script, and Robin dropped out. So did I. Then they brought in Peter Weir, and then Robin came back, and then I came back, and so did the other people because, you know, Peter Weir, he's the best.
No doubt, and so is that movie as well. Kurtwood Smith here
Yeah.
on the Rich Eisen Show. So before I let you go, what's your favorite That's 70s show moment for you? What do you think? Favorite scene, favorite show,
Boy, I don't know.
favorite line? What do you
There
got?
were so, you know, I think probably the thing I mentioned because it you know, once I called him, I said, you know, it's not that you have bad luck, it's that you're a dumbass. The first time I said that, I think, because that became such a classic line and that I'm still living with today. You know, I have people come up to me all the time and ask me to call them a dumbass. So I don't quite get that. I just say anybody who wants to be called a dumbass is a dumbass. So
I've got one last one for you here, and this one's for me. Yesterday, we had Judge Reinhold here, and it was I did a top 10 list of my favorite 80s comedies. And I left one off because it's not really well known, let alone an 80s comedy that would reach a top 10 list. But for me, it was with my friends and I. It's a movie called Going Berserk.
oh,
Yes,
going
sir.
berserk.
Yes, sir. And not a lot of people know it. There it is up on the screen right there is the movie poster. And it starred pretty much everybody from SCTV at the time.
Yeah, the great John Candy.
And you
What
were
a
in it
sweetie.
as well.
Yeah.
So you got a good John Candy story for me?
I don't. I barely remember the movie.
I took a shot
it
for me
was,
on behalf of me and all my high school friends that watched that about 90 times. We did.
It was fun. I remember working with David Steinberg, who was
the
a
director,
wonderful director,
Yeah.
you know, a great stand-up comedian, and you know, before that. But no, I wish I did. I wish I had a good.
Yeah, you were only just at like a quick part in that movie.
Yeah,
right?
I wasn't even funny. I didn't have a funny part, but I was happy to be hanging out with all those
Oh, God,
guys.
yeah, Eugene Levy and all of them.
Oh
you know.
yeah, all of them. They were all there.
Well, again, everybody check out That 90's Show Part 2 premieres June 27th exclusively on Netflix. Keep an eye peeled for Part 3 when it premieres this fall in October. And that's all available to be seen right here on the Roku portal. Kurtwood Smith, thank you for coming. Really
Oh,
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.